Good afternoon, collective. There is a desire from one and many to understand more about anchoring the pillars of Ascension. What this means, what it feels like, and I wish to describe my own experience and understanding perspective of this, which necessarily is a personal interpretation. But if you are familiar with the pillars of Boaz and Yakin as they exist within, seen as white and red, at least from the teaching I received and perceive. White running up and down the right side of the body, red up and down the left, the feminine, the masculine, receptive, penetrating, and the blue being the center pillar. The three of these making a point together form a pyramid. The establishment of this is the beginning of creating, rebuilding your Merkaba, your light spirit body. It begins with just one pillar. When you learn to engage the white and the red individually, and then the blue, you experience the sensation of being a conduit from above to below and back. It's a complete circuit that pulses and is visceral in experience. And once this is achieved, you can begin building your temple. What I mean by this is it's sort of like an altar space within. For me, I place the sacred fire in the center. And intuitively, it exists on a cliffside. Some highland moor somewhere within me. And for a long time, this was the space that I visited for any ritual and practice, far more often than the physical altar. And it took some time to realize that this space existed somewhere between the fourth and fifth dimension. It was within, beyond the third, certainly, but not above, because it was constrained, still in perspective, by the limitations of my consciousness at that time. As this expanded and expands, I began to understand there were yet other pyramids above as well as below. When I made contact with Archangel Michael, I was guided, instructed on how to follow the beam further up to a place where I could perceive myself from above. And so it is as you are floating above the self, seeing down and up at once. Over time, with this practice, I was able to expand my perception to perceive left and right, as well as forward and back in simultaneous dimension. This is the first step. From this point, it is a gradual outwards reaching of consciousness. And it is okay to begin with projection, but the ultimate goal is a connection, a whole experience of all at once. The self in physical form, the self in the fourth and then fifth dimension, which is in essence the pyramid that exists outside of Earth. For me, it is anchored merely in space, spaciousness, outer space surrounded by stars. And I was instructed on how to arrange this with the crystal table in the center and a double-sided quartz which forms the peak of the pyramid and unites the beams of white, red, and blue in one. And at first the earth was merely in front of me. Then it becomes as if you are watching a movie scene and the camera can shift freely, and the self may be perceived from any angle within this pyramid, as well as on Earth below. And for some time, I did my work here. It is much easier to encompass the whole of Earth in your field when focused from this perspective. And ultimately, one day I realized as I cast the violet flame which sits beneath the crystal table, the violet flame of transmutation, Saint Germain, guarded by Zadkiel, Archangel, and Lady Amethyst, flame of the crown. One day as I received this flame into my physical form from above, I realized that I could project it not just down into the earth, but through the earth and out the other side. And when this happened, it was received by the top double terminated quartz point of my fifth dimensional pyramid of light. And this was a great revelation for me because it created a greater conduit, another connected, complete circuit, which was then felt viscerally as pulsing through and back and forth. And at this point, the pyramid became mirrored, double-sided, and this is the beginning of the higher Merkaba. 2 pyramids with 3 vertices each, precisely mirrored, one on top of the other, and exactly duplicate, opposite in polarity, balanced. They move opposite directions. I did not try to move them at first, and that too takes some practice. This is as far as any needs to go. Already this is ascended consciousness, 5th, 6th dimension, and at this point, request more assistance. Request always assistance from the angels because they're here to guide in this. I did. I was guided to seek the City of Light with no understanding or comprehension of what that meant. I just asked for it in my heart, and I will not. There is no need to explain that far in this. But if you are one who seeks to anchor ascension in your localization, as I am, I hope this information assists you. If you can reach your pyramid of light beyond the internalized vision of fourth dimension into a projection of the fifth, where you can see the earth before you as well as beyond you, and you can exchange those freely, begin flowing the violet flame of transmutation around that earth and around the self that is on that earth. See yourself as above and below in simultaneous and continuous flow. This is all that is necessary to begin anchoring the pillar, and state within your heart to yourself and all that this is your choice and your intention in that moment. I am anchored of Pillar of Ascension. I ground through me from above to this dimension into the earth for the benefit of all, myself, the highest good and divine, and you will feel it moving through you. And then you will be doing the great work. And very soon, you will come to meet at the World Server Pyramid, the Merkaba, which grows more populous each day. For I have called each and every soul that I see to come and greet me there, and continue to do so, and shall, for all eternity, because that's all there is. Thank you for asking. This is your gift and your key, and I am honored to be the messenger. Blessed be.